the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz podcast here on this Tuesday morning. We're glad that you've joined us wherever and whenever it is that you tune us in each and every day here on the Auburn Blitz podcast and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn intake. Brett and Faith with you here on a Tuesday morning. A little bit late. It's my fault. Had to take care of something this morning, but we are here now. Faith, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good morning.
Everything going well your way?
Everything's great over here.
Hey, and your new dig. So we wanted to go wide so everybody could see your new digs and your new wall and your new office and all the good things over there. So looking all stylish this morning.
Good. I'm glad. I really love it. Thanks to my dad and mom for helping me put it all together. And Brett, of course, for these two things.
And look at it. If anybody wondered what your name is, it's literally right above your head.
Right behind me. So
shouldn't have a problem figuring that out. But a lot to talk about. Auburn surging. It's finally some positive momentum, some positive things over the last week, and we are about to dive into that full-fledged here. But before we do that, we always love to talk about our partners, and Cincy Green is one of those.
Cincy Green, for air that's cool and clean, call on Cincy Green. They are the carrier experts in the state of Alabama. Proud supporter of Auburn athletics and a proud supporter of the Auburn Blitz podcast. With how hot it is outside, you want to make sure that you've got some cool AC happening inside. So Cincy Green's going to save you thousands of dollars with the installation of a carrier unit.
Scout Program Management, a full-service construction management firm in Birmingham, Alabama, specializing in educational projects such as new school builds, renovations, indoor practice facilities, stadiums. It doesn't matter what it is. They will help you from start to finish, pre-construction planning phase, which is very important, all the way to the finished product, making sure the contractors did what they said they were going to do. And when you're spending millions of dollars, you need to do that. Scout Program Management is the place to go. Check them out online. Go see them in Birmingham. And finally,
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. They've got 27 different sports on the golf simulator bays. But if you aren't looking to rent a golf simulator bay, you can just go there and eat some of their great food. They've got happy hour deals all the time going on. And honestly, just the atmosphere there is awesome. There's such great people there, and we always have a great time there.
We do. Looking forward to possibly being back there this week and trying to work everything in. Boy, we are rocketing toward football season. Auburn starts practice next week. July the 29th is the start of practice. That's exactly a month from the first game, Faith. And you and I were going over some plans and stuff for the first few games yesterday. And again, it's right around the corner. But first things first, Jaquz Wilks, somebody that you and I felt a couple of months ago would be the next guy to commit to Auburn. He wasn't the next guy to commit, but he did end up committing yesterday at his high school at Wadley, just up the road from Auburn, a top 10 prospect here in the state that you sat down with a couple of months ago, and you bragged on Jaquz, and you and I really enjoyed going and spending some time with him. He had a Miami shirt on, as you can see in your video. But again, Miami was one of the finalists. Miami, Texas A&M were really the other two vying for his services. And, it kind of felt like Auburn the whole time, but you were a little skittish with how much Texas A&M had been in the talk, and not just with him, but with other recruits as well. But Auburn getting a top 10 guy in the state. And, after last year and all that we talked about and how Auburn really dominated the top 10 in state, Auburn was struggling to just get somebody in the top 10 this year to commit, and they finally got Jaquz Wilks.
Yeah, I think a mixture of having him and Hezekiah Harris in this class is I think that they are going to be unstoppable. And you look at Keldrick Falk and what he's been able to do at Auburn, and you picture those two guys and their potential at that. And I think Jaquz is a very awesome kid just off the football field. I mean, he's so just once you really start talking to him, charismatic and sweet and genuine, and he I think is going to be a perfect fit for Auburn. And you see his athletic abilities. And I actually was at PT yesterday, and my PT guy said, "Yeah, that big old running back." I said, "That's not what he's going to be playing at Auburn." I said, "That's not what he's going to be." But at Wadley, yeah, he's been doing that. But
And he will continue to do that at Wadley because he's 6'4", 220 pounds, and he plays 1A football. And, I know a lot of people go, how do 1A football players translate over? And there'll be a learning curve, no doubt. I think you and him talked about that in your interview a couple of months ago. He wants to go against the best. He wants to be challenged. And he even mentioned that, that so far at Wadley the last couple of years, he doesn't feel like he's really been able to get challenged. He's really a man amongst boys. I mean, you turn around and hand the football to a guy that's 6'4", 220 pounds and 1A football. There's not many people on the other side, whoever you're playing, that's going to be able to come up one-on-one tackle him. And on defense, he's playing middle linebacker. Now, he also could project at linebacker at Auburn. I know he's listed as an edge rusher, but I know Coach Durkin really likes him as a middle linebacker prospect, and he's got the perfect size. He's got really good lateral speed. He's got all the things that you need. So don't know where he will end up playing, but the number 7 overall recruit in the state of Alabama is, finally getting one is important. I thought that and proximity doesn't always mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're going to get a guy. We've seen many go of Auburn high school guys, and schools within 50 miles. You saw Sadarian Morgan commit to Alabama, and he's Benjamin Russell's had a pipeline to Auburn. Just because he was in Wadley, Alabama, up the road didn't mean he was a shoe in to come to Auburn. But sometimes it does way out, and I think this one did for him. Being from a small town, being close to home, how important it is for his mom and his sister to be able to just come up the road and watch him play, I thought really played into this particular recruitment of him.
yeah, and just to touch one more time, talking about how he's at a 1A school and has to adapt to the SEC type of teams and talent and all that. When I asked him, the eagerness in his answer of wanting to go and play with and against these guys that are developed and obviously went to different schools that are coming from a lot bigger schools with much more talent. He's so eager to get in there and actually learn and get coached up to be the best. And if you look at his physique, that is something that is obviously playing in his benefit of look at what he looks like. You can't morph that or build that. That's just, himself. So yeah, I think he's going to be able to fit in and really learn and get coached up.
If you look down the list, Auburn now has 2 players in the top 10. The number 7, number 8 player, Hezekiah Harris. We went up and talked to him. You talked to him. Again, everybody can go to our YouTube channel and click on the On the Front Row with Faith little tab, and you can go watch all of these videos. Sat down with most all of these guys. When I look down, the next thing I've been asked is who can Auburn flip in this? Because right now, I mean, outside of Tank Jones, everybody and Emmanuel Ruffin has pledged their commitment somewhere. So if Auburn were to pick up 2 or 3 more guys in the top 10 here in the state, they're going to have to flip some guys. And so I don't know that I see a high percentage of these guys flipping. Obviously, a massive target still left in the number 2 player in Tank Jones. I think that one's all over the map. I think Alabama probably leads for him, unfortunately, but I do think Texas A&M is very much in the mix. We heard his coach tell us, Faith, that Texas A&M has made him a priority. And we'll talk about some money here in just a little bit, some things that I sent over yesterday that you and I were talking about and how much value is placed on some of these programs. Money's no object for Texas A&M. They've made that very clear and evident over the last several years. So really outside of that, when you go down a quick run, Sedarian, number one player, Alabama, Tank, uncommitted. Landon Duckworth just committed to South Carolina the other day. Voney Cleveland kind of is a surprise. I'll stop there. Does Auburn still have a shot with Voney Cleveland? I think they can. I know Texas carries a lot of weight, and, when you look at the value of programs, they're probably the number one program in the country. But when the dust settles, can Auburn go in there, having Jordan Crawford here at Auburn and some connections and how much he likes Auburn still, I think, could Auburn maybe flip him late? I think that's the highest percentage of a flip in the top 10 for me.
Is Vodney or is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm thinking the highest percentage of a flip for Auburn in the top 10 would be Voney Cleveland.
I would hope it'd be Sedarian.
Well, I would too. I don't think Auburn – I mean, obviously Auburn's not going to stop recruiting Sedarian, and things can change. I'm just saying if I had to place a bet on one of these guys in the top 10 flipping to Auburn, it would be Voney Cleveland. I just think there is a good relationship there. He really talked about how much he liked Coach Freeze and Coach Durkin.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he's, especially with one of his teammates, Jordan Crawford, being at Auburn, and we've said that so many times since I've interviewed him, that the way he spoke about him and the way he spoke about Coach Freeze and everything, seeing how they're able to use Jordan and the way he's been developed, I think that's going to be a huge turning point of, is his friend able to slightly recruit him just a little bit each time that, they talk and are able to, just kind of, hey, are you still thinking about this? I know he's going to be visiting for sure in the fall, but yeah, I think it's definitely a lot of it goes back to the money, I think.
Well, I think that, when you look at it, Jordan Crawford has a big year this year. Auburn's successful. Now you got a combination of, hey, Texas is a long way away. I know travel isn't as bad, but still, if you have to get on a plane every weekend to go see your child play versus can you get in your car and drive an hour and a half, convenience, look, it's hard to get kids out of state anywhere you go. When you do, that's an extra little bit of icing on the cake. And Auburn, I'm going to shift gears here in a minute, talk about a couple of guys in the neighboring state that I think, man, if Auburn can add those guys, Auburn is back in really good shape in recruiting, and just 2 weeks ago, it was about as doom and gloom as you could see. And it could still be that way. The two guys we're going to talk about may not commit to Auburn, either one of them. So, and Auburn still is going to have a lot of work to do regardless. It doesn't matter. Auburn now picking up Zaire and now Wilks. There is some positive momentum and some things going on. I'll go back down the rest of the top 10 here in just a minute. We got some comments coming in that we'll get to as well, but want to get back and hit some of our partners real quick. And Sure Shot in Alexander City.
Right up Highway 280, they've got all your firearm apparel and hunting needs. They sell and trade new and used firearms. So if you've got any of the targets that you need to be doing right now for this off season,
where are we going with that?
Yeah, no, it took me a second. You've got any target shooting that you need to do, it's always target season. And then also their hunting apparel. It's always they've got great prices there, especially when, it is this off season. This is the perfect time to go in and buy it. So calling them, and Scott's great. He's got all the things that if you need any help, he's got you.
Hey, and by the way, dove season is right around the corner. So that you go ahead and get what you need. I mean, it's going to be here before you know it. You'll blink and September will be here. And so that's next up on the clock. Go check out Sure Shot in Alexander City, and they will take care of you.
Oliver Ross, if you've got a party of 20 or if you've got a party up to 20,000 people, Oliver Ross is going to be able to be the bartenders for you. They're professional certified licensed bartenders who, you don't have to focus on bartending and entertainment and hosting. You can just have Oliver Ross take care of that bartending, and they are awesome. Sorority, fraternity, weddings, all the above, tailgates for this fall. Oliver Ross is going to be able to take care of y'all.
Go check them out. Talked to Mark yesterday. They're doing well, and football season is busy for them. Make sure you go and check out Oliver Ross there. So Justin had a comment real quick. When we get to some of these comments here as we go down, Glenn said, you're getting raw talent, got to adjust to college life. No doubt. I think, again, coming from a small community, a small atmosphere, playing in 1A football, there's going to be a curve, a learning curve there. But when you got a guy that big and has the raw talent, like you said, Glenn, they can pick up a lot faster than somebody else can. So I don't think it'll be a very big adjustment period for him. I don't. What's the news on Malcolm Simmons? Really nothing official to report. Sometimes silence can be deafening. I'll put it that way. And with no more statements coming out of Auburn, I'm just going to be honest. Some of the things I'm hearing feels like maybe a lean to Malcolm remaining on the team. Again, I'm not in the negotiations. I'm not sitting in there with the attorneys. I'm not privy to any of that stuff, but just what I've been told by some people that I really trust. It feels like Malcolm may be okay here, and there may be a statement coming out maybe sooner than later, but I don't have anything definitive on that. We're just still all praying for everybody involved in this situation. It's just bad all the way around, and hopefully they can get a resolution to it quickly. Glenn said the Texas D-line development is a hard sell. Yeah, there's no question. Texas lines of scrimmage have been outstanding, and I obviously left a mark on Voney Cleveland. That's why he picked that school, and we'll see kind of how it goes. But I'm just saying, if I had to put money on a guy that I felt like could do a flip, it would be Voney Cleveland. So, all right, so Arkansas's Javon Hubbard is what Justin's talking about, director of player personnel at Arkansas. He's going to come over. He worked with Hugh Freeze at Liberty, and, I think it's a good hire. And so, again, going out and finding somebody that you have, a level of comfort with. He's going to be working under Will Redmond. We'll see how it kind of all plays out, but I think it's a good hire. I really do. I think Auburn went out and found a guy, and more importantly, Faith, Hugh Freeze found a guy that he wanted to bring in on his staff that he's had a working relationship with. So that's really kind of all I have on that. And that you and I really didn't even discuss it before we went on the air. We've been talking headlong about recruiting and prospects and all that stuff, but I think it's a good hire, but we'll see. Again, this is back office stuff, and be working with Will Redmond, who I think is one of the best in the business.
Yeah, I think definitely having had worked together at Liberty is definitely, a good reason of having him come back, because it must have worked well for them there, and now he's coming to Auburn, so hopefully it'll be better.
Absolutely. So go back to what we left off with. I won't stay on this very long. Going to move forward. Zion Gibson, I think he's hard to Alabama. Xavier Crowell, I don't think he's going to fault. I don't think he's going to flounder. I think he's solid to Alabama. Then you got two Auburn guys in Wilks and Harris. Hezekiah Harris has been solid to Auburn this whole time. Mm-hmm. Tennessee really made a big push on him. I'm not saying he can't flip, but I feel good about him remaining. A guy that bumped into the top 10 here recently is Emmanuel Ruffin at Bessemer City. When you look at him, 6'4", 290 pounds, guys, Auburn's really not in his top there. I know Alabama, LSU, Ohio State are his top three. kind of see how that all plays out. But I don't know that Auburn really has a chance with him. But I do say that I'm not saying it's done, probably close to done, but Marquez Daniel, who you sat down with and talked, and maybe the shortest interview in the history of mankind, um, just see Marquez just would not talk. Commits to Florida again at Booker T. Washington, which is right up the road. That's still a possibility of a flip. Could be. My money would still be on Voney Cleveland and or Sedarian Morgan at the end of the day. But again, there's just not a lot of room here, Faith, to flip anybody. It's my point. That's the whole point of this discussion. I had somebody ask me that yesterday. How many is Auburn going to flip in this top 10? I don't see very many. Maybe one. So
Yeah, I agree. Maybe one. If you had to choose which one you would want to flip,
I mean, I think you know which one it is.
I was
The same one you
asking.
mentioned. Definitely Sedarian Morgan. I'd love to have Sedarian. I'd love that pipeline from Benjamin Russell to keep flowing to Auburn. Those players have been successful and been contributors. Michael Goggins, El Toro Freeman, Eric Brock, Marquise Gunn, and just keep going down the list. Malcolm Simmons right now, hopefully, will remain in good standing. We'll see. James, appreciate that. We try to give you as much good content as we possibly can. Ed said, "Here's my stance on recruiting." Cohen said, "If it gets to be August 1st and we find out that other teams are still using NIL money as recruiting tool, Auburn will pivot. Money will not stop us from getting who we want. We will see John Cohen show me." Yep. Missouri all over again in all phases of the game. So who's next for Auburn? I know, it's like Christmas, right? You open a present and it's all exciting, and then you're looking for the next one to open, right? We can't really celebrate. I'm not diminishing it. Jaquz Wilks was a must get for Auburn in the top 10. Auburn now has 2 of the top 10. I think Alabama's got 4 in the top 10 with a chance to maybe get another one or 2. So they could flip this thing, and they're not going to get all 10 or 9 of 10 like Auburn did last year, but they could get 6. So that's a big deal for them. But you know what? On the flip side, Auburn could make hay out of state this year, which is kind of crazy. Again, when you look at the rankings, it's really been Tristan Keys, Sedarian Morgan, 1 or 2 wide receiver. Rivals has Jace Matthews as the number 2 wide receiver behind Tristan Keys, and then Sedarian Morgan behind Naeem Burrows. It's committed to Clemson. Jace Matthews is still out there. Jace Matthews is committing August 8th, which is around the corner. LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Auburn. This is, again, another Mississippi kid. When you look at it, if you get Jace Matthews, you didn't get Sedarian Morgan, but if you get Jace Matthews, he's, again, one of the top receivers in the country. He's ranked ahead of Sedarian on Rivals, not on 24/7, but you get him, and then you know who's out there waiting in the wings later in August? Braylon Womack, the number 1 safety in the country. Ohio State is just throwing the gauntlet down to get him. That's coming up as well at the end of August. You get those 2 guys from the state of Mississippi, all of a sudden things look a little bit different.
I think it's good, though, that they're committing in August, because kind of what Ed was saying is Cohen said if it gets to be August 1st, we find out that other teams are still using NIL money as a recruiting tool. Auburn will pivot, and money will not stop us from getting who we want. We will see John Cohen show me. I think 100% with them committing in August, that could be a huge turning point for Auburn getting these guys of, okay, this is now exactly what we know, what we can use and what we can't. This is what we can offer you. But right now, you heard Sedarian earlier say, Auburn doesn't know what they can give me until December. So I think this
Maybe that.
August.
Hey, maybe that changes August
Yeah,
forward.
that's my point. Now it's August 1st, so who knows?
Justin said, "How many is Auburn taking? Not as many. You know, that's the thing that we talked about a few weeks ago. I think that people need to understand. Auburn's got 11 commitments now. They jumped up to 65. That's hard to say. I mean, we've jumped up to 65. Um, ooh, that's just bad. But anyway, it's better than it was. We jumped up to 65 with the addition of Jaquz Wilks. The next two guys, Jace Matthews' brother Womack, are ranked higher than Jaquz Wilks, who is now Auburn's highest ranked player according to 24/7. He's the 91st player in the country. He's the number 7 player in the state, number 10 player at his position in the country. Hezekiah Harris is right behind him as the 109 player in the country on 24/7. I don't know. I think Auburn may take 20 guys this year. So if that's the case and you're holding money back and it's no holds barred, the next 9 you get better be really high quality guys. And I'm not saying they only get 20. They could go to 21. I don't think this class is going to be as big. I think Auburn is concentrating on the younger guys that they have. They've made that very clear. Hugh Freeze has made that very clear. He said, hey, I like our wide receiver room here. I want to keep all these guys. You know, I like this defensive line we've got. I want to keep all these guys. And you do want to look, if Jordan Crawford comes out and has the year, I think he's going to have everybody's going to be calling. You know, that's just the way it is. So, young guys, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be back next year that you're going to have to make happy. You want to see those guys hang around. I think Auburn's got a really good shot at Deron Parks, Justin. That's another kid. Again, you add him in to these other two that we're talking about, all of a sudden before the season starts, Auburn's picked up. And again, this is hypothetical and this is perfect scenario. Auburn may not get any of them at the end of the day. But I do think we'll all sit and wait on August 1st to see if Auburn changes its philosophy and if anything kind of pivots for Auburn. I just hate that we're already talking about having to pivot, which makes me feel like, and it's a known fact that we've gotten behind a lot of these schools, and now we're going to have to make up ground. But again, the thing that can save you is the portal, and the thing that can save you is not having to have as big a class this year as you've had the last couple of years and being more selective. And so if you got more money left at the end, can you flip a guy? Yeah, I mean, money talks, BS walks. I don't know how else to say it, you know. And some of these schools, if they are going to get tight with their money and they're going to retract on some of that, may leave the door open. This thing all may play out just the way John Cohen and Hugh Freeze said it could. I don't know that it will. I don't feel good that it will, because I think a team will go out and do whatever they can to find the money to supplement. If they don't have it in their salary cap, they'll figure it out, whether it be under the table, whatever. But I don't think you're just going to let somebody walk away. You're going to do everything you can to keep them. But I do think Auburn will be able to throw some deals out there and some offers to some kids going to really make them turn it's going to turn their head.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the only thing we can do now is wait until then, which is
a lot of waiting. It's like waiting on Christmas, right? All right. I'll tell you again, kind of going along with the the theme of what I just said. DraftKings posted something yesterday about Texas A&M, and I sent that over to you. And my God, Texas A&M athletes made more money than the Marlins active roster last year. $51.4 million in NIL payments to Texas A&M last year. The Marlins' 26-man payroll was $44.6 million. So what did I just say? Money talks. And a lot of Dodge Durangos, Justin said. And so you flip over and you want to look at valuation and the amount of money that is brought in per program. if you're looking at FBS program valuation, according to DraftKings, Texas is 1, which we just talked about. Georgia is 2. Ohio State, Notre Dame comes in at 4. Michigan, Alabama, Oklahoma, and then Auburn comes in down where, Faith?
In the SEC 8, they've got 118.2 million.
In average football revenue. So, again, when you look at valuation too of your program, Auburn's up there. And again, when you look at how you're going to break out your NIL, there was something else that you and I talked about yesterday that we'll shift gears on here in just a second to close out the program. Is you're going to learn a lot about schools placing importance on what programs. And this was eye-opening to me. I think it was eye-opening to you yesterday. But before we do that, a couple more partners here on the program. Old Number One Customs.
Old Number One Customs, if you've got an outdoor living space, bathroom, kitchen, anything of the sort, Old Number One Customs is going to be able to come in and out of your house in just 2 weeks and do renovations. I mean, seriously, Brett, you've been working with them as of recent, and you've said nothing but great things from them.
Yep, getting ready to sign a contract to get going here very soon on this bathroom, and think everything's finalized. Just trying to figure out the start date now, so it is coming very soon. Call them 334-752-6162.
While you're at it, go ahead and get a Home Atlas water filter duo from JFA Blue Plumbing. They will come and install a Home Atlas water filter duo that is only $15.99, and that means every single faucet in your house is going to have filtered water coming out of it, and it's so important to be drinking filtered water and even having it on your skin, everything of the sort, your animals. So call on them, 844-JFA Blue.
All right, coming down the stretch here, finally, according to Matt Norlander, Kentucky is believed to be dedicating 45% of the $20.5 million revenue sharing budget to men's basketball. So that's approximately $9.2 million, which, if that is the case, would be over 3 times what any other SEC school. So you look, people can say what they want. You're going to find out a lot about what schools place which sports at the top of the heap. Now, I'm surprised. Look, we know that basketball is king in Kentucky, and they've slipped off the mountain. Auburn and Alabama and Tennessee have kind of knocked them off that mountain. Kentucky fans are probably like, I don't really give a rip what we do in football. By God, we better get our basketball program back to winning national championships and being at the top of the SEC. We're tired of watching Auburn put banners up in the rafters and beat us on a regular basis. Because Auburn not only went to Rupp this year and broke a streak, they just beat their brains out. So they are tired of this. But you want to talk about a football program going down the tubes. Not that they were really – I mean, they got Mark Stoops, and they've kind of overachieved, in my opinion, but that thing's kind of faltering right now, and can't have your cake and eat it too. And if they're not going to put the amount of money into their football program these other schools are, they'll find themselves down at the bottom with Vanderbilt and all these other schools on a year in and year out basis.
Real quickly, too.
And I know Kentucky basketball brings in a lot of money, but I told you this. We did a little study a couple of years ago, and a lot of people would have guessed the opposite, but Kansas football brings in more money than Kansas basketball. And so that just tells you all you need to know. Kansas football historically has been horrific, and their basketball program is at the top. And their football program still brings in more money annually than their basketball program. Kentucky are they just throwing their football program away here? I mean, a lot of schools, is Mississippi State going to look at it and go, we'll try to have a good team every once in a while, but we're going to concentrate on being the best in baseball? Are they going to devote a majority of their 20.5 to to baseball? Are we going to see Vanderbilt do that? Are we going to see some other schools do that? I mean, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, LSU, you know where their money's going.
Yeah.
Did that shock you, though, when I sent that over?
Yes and no. Like, I mean, yes, in the sense of, okay, you're an SEC team and you're devoting it all to, not all, but I mean, a huge chunk of it to basketball versus, like you just said, all these other schools that we talk about, how they're devoting it to football. Are you just going to be okay with your football team just really falling off the deep end?
I mean, do they see it as a waste of money to put that much
But
money?
do you not want to?
I mean, let's think about it. It's Kentucky going, we are not ever going to be Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, Florida in football. We're not. They're just not. And are they saying we're going to be blowing our money doing that? Why can't we put our money toward the sport we've always been known for? I think that's what they're doing here. I think they're conceding.
Makes sense. I mean, do what you got to do.
I don't know. Be terrible. It's all that I really think they sent a message here. I think they pretty much said, we're not even going to try to compete. And here's the thing. I brought this up with you. We were looking at the lower tier teams and the SEC teams that have never won a national title in football. I think it's even harder now for them to win one.
Yeah.
You know, the Mississippi States, the South Carolinas, those schools down there. South Carolina probably has the best chance of that group that's never won one. But, I mean, all of those schools down there, if I'm Mississippi State, I'm really going, what do I do right now
Right.
about getting up there to the level? I think Arkansas even falls in that category now. Even with all the money they've got out there with Walmart and everything else, it hasn't helped them to this point, has it?
No.
It's changing the game 100%. So when you look at it, and you got Texas and Texas A&M in this conference now, and of course Oklahoma, even Oklahoma is feeling a little bit of the angst of coming into this conference. I mean, what were they predicted to finish 8th this year in the SEC? Auburn's predicted to finish 11th. It's in the Big 12 anymore. And so Texas A&M, that kind of money, Mississippi State can't compete with that.
Mm-mm.
So it's going to be interesting to see. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, all right, everybody. Randy and I will be with you at lunch today for the Auburn Blitz TV show. Again, you can tune us in right here on the YouTube channel, Facebook, or Charter Channel 701, Channel 80. And then Faith and I will be back tomorrow morning with another episode of the Auburn Blitz podcast. And again, we appreciate all of you so much out there for subscribing to our channel, spreading the word. Hit the like button every time. Please do that. It really helps us out tremendously if you like our programming, and continue to help us spread the word. Faith, anything else on your mind this morning? By the way, again, props to the back wall. Looks outstanding. I mean, all the way across.
Props to my dad and my mom. And obviously, Brett, you generously gifted me this, and you had that done for me. But yes, so thanks to my mom, my dad for
the parental units came through.
Absolutely.
So, but congrats on your new digs. It looks good. Looks really, really good. So anything else from you this morning?
No, I hope everyone has the best day ever.
As always, in a big ol'
War Eagle.